The Ford Greenpower 2002 Electric Car Marathon National Finals, held for the fourth year at the historic Goodwood Motor Circuit in West Sussex, where 68 electric cars, all designed and built by secondary schools, have qualified to compete for 6 hours over the full race circuit. The cars are all seeded by their numbers, indicating the relative distances they achieved in the qualifying heats. Number 1 is last year's champion EB6 from a Keep Biggener. How will they do today? 7:30 a.m. October the 13th. In the Sussex countryside, vehicles, trailers and teams are already arriving at the historic Goodwood Motor Circuit on this gloomy October morning in the hope of winning the Greenpower 2002 National Finals today. The weather has been good for this event over the past 4 years, but this morning it's threatening to break that tradition. A record 68 teams drawn from 9 regional UK heats are readying themselves for what promises to be an exciting day of racing. The winner will be decided by a combination of reliability and speed. As ever, the vehicles are built using a common 24-volt motor and batteries, but the similarity stops there. Designs range from the complicated and streamlined to more basic and rugged. But which of these will succeed? 9:30 a.m. After thorough scrutineering, practice is starting and the weather is holding. For now. 10:15 a.m. Between practice and the main race, spectators watch a demonstration of Formula Fracmo, a new formula for sixth formers and colleges. It starts next year, and some of the schools here today may consider competing in this as well. 10:40 a.m. The demonstration is over and all eyes are quickly turning back to the main event as the teams parade down the main straight to applause from the crowd. The heavens have opened, but the teams are determined to beat these challenging conditions. 11 a.m. The race begins. The Earl of March starts the race. "67 cars have gotten underway cleanly, with the exception of number 33, which doesn't seem to want to go at all. Let's hope he gets back in the race later." As expected, this year's favourite and last year's winner, EB6, takes the early lead. They're coming back into the main straight, but the boys are back are catching them up from the third row of the grid. Asteroid is close behind, and these cars are dominating the early stages of the race. The water on the track is having a huge impact on lap times. Motor heating is suddenly not the problem it's been in the past. And look at those poor drivers being pelted by the rain. It's not just the rain from above that's soaking them. Every time they turn the wheel, they're getting a full faceful. Maybe next year mudguards will be a standard accessory for the Greenpower Formula 24 cars. Racing for the first time this year are several totally enclosed cars. They thought they would run away with it, but it looks like they can't see a thing through their windscreens. The only car with a windscreen wiper out there is LC2 from Lacon Child School. That's earned the team this year's Innovation Award. The high standard of this year's cars is well illustrated, as work in the pit and paddocks is considerably less than it has been in previous races. We're not seeing a runaway winner here. There's several cars neck and neck leading this race. It's creating quite a bit of anticipation on the track today. The traditionally dangerous exit from the chicane has been tamed a bit this year due to the terrible weather conditions, but it's still claiming victims. Looks like this one might be able to get back into the action later. I must say, on the whole, driving standards have been superb, and the majority of the incidents have not been too damaging for the teams. As the race is progressing, the sin bin is starting to greet more and more cars for their misdemeanours. Asteroid in particular is being penalised. Their considerable speed seems to be creating problems every time they enter or leave the pits. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. Look at those standings. Some of the cars have contradicted their high start numbers and are showing up in the top 20 cars. The all-girl teams are in strong evidence, as St Swithin's 2 cars, Flying Cheese and Bluebird, have moved up progressively and are now in the top 10. XLR8, second in France in June, has shown that its poor form in the heats was an aberration. They've also moved into the top 10. This year is seeing some of the usual top cars giving way to newcomers. Fluffy Dice, Silver Fox and Phoenix, all highly rated cars, are struggling now in the middle of the field. The conditions have gone from just plain awful to downright appalling. The rain is flying almost horizontal out there. Those drivers have got to be freezing. Hang on, the marshals have just announced that the race is going to finish 2 hours early at 3 p.m. The teams may now have to change their strategies with only 45 minutes left in the race. This could be good for some, but bad for others. We'll just have to wait and see. The teams with the open cockpit vehicles look like they're really struggling out there. It must be a relief for all the drivers, however, to know that they're not going to have to endure these elements too much longer. But now it's pedal to the metal time. Battery life is not an issue anymore. Wet and frozen drivers who thought they had time to dry out are being thrown back into their cars for the last blast. Coming up to the final lap, and there's only one lap between the leaders. The boys are back and a keep Bigginaw. Asteroid has recovered from motor failure and their repeated visits to the sin bin and is catching up rapidly. Donald Wales has taken time off his own Bluebird electric record car to drop the flag, and the boys are back have taken it. Second place goes to a keep Bigginaw. They feel they might have won if the full race had been run, but accept defeat graciously. The Wheeled School's quietly consistent Wheeldos comes in third, having tracked the leaders for the whole race. The ever-consistent Flying Cheese brings the first girls' team home in fourth place, followed by the Flying Asteroid. With Bluebird, Spud and XLR8 also in the top 10, the all-girl teams have had a great day. We congratulate all the teams on their efforts over the course of the year. And a special mention goes to the Greenfield school team. They may have come second last, but the Flying Monkey, built for only £5, won the award for the greenest car in the event. See you all next year for Greenpower 2003.